Okay, today we're going to start to look at factorising, primarily factorising quadratics. But before we do that, we need to have a quick look at the difference between factorising into single and factorising into double brackets. Because as you look at more types of factorising, some students often get a little bit confused and will try to factorise into a single or a double. So we'll have a little look at that first. So a couple of important notes, which I suggest you write down as we go through and pause as you need to. So there are 6 expressions on the board, A, B, C, D, E, F, and some of them will factorize into single bracket, and some of them will factorize into a double bracket. And the way that we need to look at these to work out if they're going to factorize into a double bracket or not is to see if they have 2 things. And those 2 things are an x squared component and a constant. So a constant is our number by itself. Okay? So if an expression has an x squared, make sure you're writing this down, I'll make that bold, and a constant, all a constant is just a number by itself. If it has those 2 things, then you should aim to factorize into 2 brackets or double brackets. Okay? So if we just take one of them, for example, if we look at C here, okay, C has an x squared and it has a constant. So this one, C, will go into double brackets. Okay? Don't worry if you don't quite know how that works yet, but the first thing to establish is if you can work out whether it should be single or double, and then we'll look at exactly how to do all of those. So with that information, x squared component and a constant, I would like you to organize these 6 expressions. 3 of them should go into double brackets and 3 of them should go into single brackets. So can you just pause for a moment, write them down, organize them into a group for double brackets and a group for single brackets. Okay, group for double brackets. Let's have a quick look. So we said that that one there would go into double brackets because we have the x squared and we have the constant. Okay, let's look at B. Do we have an x squared? Yes. Do we have a constant? Yes. So that one's also going to go double brackets. Looking at A, do we have an x squared? Yes. Do we have a constant? No, we don't. We don't have a number by itself. So A will go into a single bracket. D, do we have an x squared? Yes. Do we have a constant? Yes. So D will go into double brackets. E, x squared but no constant, and F, an x squared but no constant. Okay. So there are 2 groups that we have there. Okay. Double bracket, single bracket. Okay. I'll just swap them around for a second. So if we just focus on the single bracket ones for a moment, just before we go on to our main focus of double brackets, you can just pause this and see if you can actually now factorize those into a single bracket. Go. Okay, so factorizing these into the single bracket, we're always looking to take the highest common factor outside of the bracket. So for the first one, the highest common factor of both terms is 8x. Divide them both by 8x and we end up with 2x minus 3. Checking always that when we expand, again, we get back to what we should have. So 8x, 2x, yep, and 8x minus 3, yep. Second one, highest common factor is just x. Third one, again, highest common factor is just x. But I want you to take notice of this third one. Look at what we then have in that bracket. Okay. In that bracket, we now have an x squared and a constant. So this can now factorize into 2 brackets. Okay, so what we would end up with here is we'd have x, and we would factorize that center part now into those 2 brackets. And that part there is what we're going to focus on in the next bit, building up our knowledge of factorizing with different types of quadratics. Okay, so that's it for this little note video. Hop over to the next one and I'll see you there.